Hi, I'm Marty Nemko. This is another short story from my book Soloists, which are flash fiction, short stories of introverts and outsiders facing a dilemma. This one's called The Hypochondriac. Get out! Get the fuck out! I don't want to see your fat ass again. Robert's foster mother had caught him stealing $20 from her wallet, and it wasn't the first time. The agency couldn't find Robert another foster home, understandably. Would you want an obese 16-year-old who was kicked out of his foster home for stealing? So Robert ended up in a group home, with kids far tougher than him. Yeah, he had stolen occasionally, and yeah, he played for his high school football team. But he was a gentle giant. He wasn't as aggressive as other linemen. So despite exhortations from his coach to get serious, it just wasn't in him. One of the counselors at the group home, Serena, recognized that and listened to Robert, talked with him. Once even gave him a neck massage. Robert said, biting his lip to avoid tearing up. No one ever touched me before, except to hit me. Their conversations deepened, with Robert revealing that he was terrified of getting sick, of the pain of dying, and of death. He admitted that every time he got a pain of ambiguous origin, he catastrophized it being cancer, a stroke, or heart disease. Even in the absence of a symptom, his hypervigilance to possible disease tamped his already sad demeanor. Well-intentioned, but ultimately hurtful, Serena encouraged him to see the nurse, even when she was sure it was nothing. Serena thought that would be reassuring, but it only legitimated Robert's concerns. Serena didn't mention that she too had a worrisome pain, but, scared of what it might be, didn't go to the doctor. Serena and Robert became close enough that the supervisor warned her to keep her distance. The warning wasn't necessary. Serena soon was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and despite heroic and painful and expensive measures, she died. Robert was of course bereft, and his hypochondria got worse, his hands often shaking. When Robert turned 18, he was no longer eligible to be in the foster care system, and so had to figure out how to make it on his own. He decided that with his physical strength and wanting to be near medical care in case of emergency, he'd apply for jobs in hospitals as a transporter. He was quickly hired. It was a job that few people wanted, often moving heavy, very sick, sometimes groaning patients onto and off a gurney. Watching doctors in the trenches made Robert fall in love with the concept of doctor, and he decided to try to marry one. That way he'd have medical care very close. So he'd stand a little closer than standard to an attractive doctor, but the reaction was invariably negative. For example, the doc would step back, look away, and quickly excuse herself. Robert continued doing his job, but a few months later, he wrenched his back while lifting a 250-pound comatose man. Robert was sent to a physician for evaluation, and then to a physician assistant, Bonnie, for follow-ups. Bonnie was less rushed than were most doctors, and while she was almost as heavy as Robert, he found her attractive. When he asked if she wanted to get coffee in the break room, he was surprised that she said yes. Just a month later, he asked her to marry him. Her answer was also a surprise. You don't want to marry me. I have a kidney disease, and the doctors say I probably won't last 3 years. Robert considered that he'd only briefly have medical care nearby, but quickly dismissed that and said, I still want to marry you. I love you. Anyway, that story is called The Hypochondriac. It's one of the stories in my book Soloists. I would be pleased if you would check the book out on Amazon. And I certainly welcome your thumbs up and accept your thumbs down about this video. I welcome your comments, and also like it if you hit the share button below so my efforts can have broader impact. And I'm flattered if you choose to subscribe to my channel. A lot of asks, maybe just do one. In any event, I do thank you for watching. I'm Marty Nemko.